Your Excellency, the Deputy President, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is George Karisa. I'm the Regional Manager, Nacada, here in Coast. I'm going to take you through the situation of alcohol and drug abuse in this region. First, I want to concur with the Deputy President that Coast region has gravely been affected by young men wasting themselves in drugs, cheap labor, and its related effects. To be frank, the situation is very bad in this region. As you have heard, out of the 26,000 IDUs, injecting drug users, 18,000 of them are from coast. That is from Kilifi, Lamu, Mombasa, and Kwale. So the problem is that big that needs all the concerted efforts of everyone. We usually do surveys as a lead agency every 5 years. And the last survey that we did, that was in 2022, it indicated that the prevalence of any substance of abuse, alcohol, cat, or tobacco in this region is higher than the national rate. That means we are looking at every substance of abuse. The national survey, the national prevalence rate is lower than what we have here in the region. The region is largely affected by hard drugs like heroin, bang, and of course muguka, especially the 4 counties, the coastline surveys, counties of Mombasa, Kwale, Kilifi, and Lamu. So here huwa tunasema the problem of drugs imefika to an extent tunasema ni donda sugu sasa. We need to do something to this problem. The age, of course, the age mostly affected by this the problem of alcohol, according to the survey which we did in 2022, is between 15 and 35 years. This is a very productive age group, na tunaona kwamba inaangamia na mihadarati. So according to the survey which we did, we were looking at those people who have used at least one drug of substance. That means either mtu ameshai kutumia bangi, tobacco, alcohol, any form of substance use. So when you look at the findings that we had, the national rate was 17.5%. That is the national rate, preference rate, for those people who have used at least one type of a drug, at least moja hapo. The prevalence rate was 17.5. But when you compare it with the cost preference, is that cost preference rate was 18.1 for those people who have used at least one type of a drug, whether ametumia bangi, sigara, pombe, heroin, ni 18.1. That means our preference rate, our regional preference rate, iko juu kuliko the national preference rate. Alcohol, as had already been mentioned by the Deputy President, the national prevalence rate of alcohol is 11.8, but cost is at 13.9. So hapo bado tuko juu above the national prevalence rate. Tobacco, and with tobacco hapa tunaongea kuhusu tobacco and tobacco products, including akina kuber, akina shisha, and shisha, Your Excellency, has also been a problem in this region. Shisha has been outlawed. But we still have a few places where watu wanavuta shisha, but we are working towards addressing that problem. So when you look at tobacco use, the national prevalence rate was 8.5, while the regional for coast now was 10.8. So already we are above the national prevalence rate. With cat here we are including miraa and also muguka. So the national rate, the prevalence rate was 3.6, while the regional prevalence rate was 4.8. Cannabis, we were at the national prevalence rate is 1.9, even at the regional prevalence rate is also 1.9. So the region is doing badly as far as consumption of alcohol and drugs is concerned. When you look at what we call potable spirits, this is what is, the wines are spirits. From the survey findings, Coast region is second from Central. Central is, the prevalence rate for Central was 4.1. Coast was second with 3.2%. And of course, the national consumption rate for potable spirits was 2.5. So the national preference rate was 2.5 for potable spirits, but the coastal rate was 3.2. As the Deputy President had mentioned, we have a serious problem of hard drugs here. We have a problem with hashish, cocaine, and heroin. So when you look at the survey findings, the national prevalence rate for these hard drugs was below 0.1%. But for the coast prevalence rate, hashish was 0.4%. That is above 0.1. Cocaine was 0.9, and then heroin was 2.3. So hashish, cocaine, heroin, all of them as a region, we are above the national prevalence rate. So that is the situation as far as alcohol and hard drugs is concerned. So as leaders, we need to do something before we lose our whole generation. When you look at the issue of illicit brews, I'm also going to mention about the hotspots for illicit brews and other drugs. We have worked very closely with the National Government Administration and other government agencies like KRA, KEBS, and the Counterfeit Agency, and of course even the county government. And we have identified hotspots for illicit brews. And I'm going to mention these hotspots as per county. Starting with Tana River County, when it comes to illicit brewing, we have a number of hotspots in Tana River County, like a village called Mikinduni, Malindi Angwena, Kone Village, up to Kambiamoto, Boji, Mororo, and Madogo. Those are illicit brewing hotspots in Tana River County. In Mombasa County, we have illicit brewing hotspots, that is in Chuda Moroto. For those who come from Mombasa, they understand this. Kachonjo, Kiziwi, Mtopanga, Bakaren, Mlaleo, Kashani, Junda, all the way to Bokole, Magongo, Bangladesh, and even Alidina in those sides of Miritini. In Lamu, we also have illicit brews hotspots. That is at Wioni, Manda Maweni, Mararani, and Buzi Wengi. In Taita Taveta, we have a number of illicit brews hotspots from Mkuki, Kumtanga, Soko ya Zamani, Maweni, up to Wichichu village, in Choke sublocation. And in Kwale, the hotspots are Bombani village, Barabarani, Mivumoni, Mwabungo, up to Kasemeni. Those are the illicit illicit brews hotspot. We also have bank hotspots in these counties. Starting with Kwale, we have Lukore Center as a hotspot for bank consumption. Manyata still in Kwale, Sererani up to Horohoro border. In Taita Taveta, we have bank hotspots from that is at Taita Mwatate town, Mukuki, Burandogo, up to Sungululu. In Mombasa County, the hotspots for bank are the Old Town, Kachonjo, Shanzu, Bamburi, Utange, Kadogo, Bombolulu, Magongo, and of course Bangladesh and Mutongwe. In Lamu County, we have Mbuzi Wengi, Hindi, Wioni, Mkomani, Langoni, Kipungani, Matondoni, Mararani, and Manda Maweni. Those are the hotspots for bank consumption. When it comes to the hard drugs, that is heroin, we have in Kwale, we have Vigunjini village, we have a place called GFS, Mwabungo, Darling, Mbuani, and Momamba. In Lamu County, the heroin hotspot is Kijitoni in Langoni location. In Mombasa County, the hotspot for heroin is the Old Town, Chuda, Majengo, Kingorani, Ganjoni, Kuze, Chaani, Magongo, Bangladesh, Mlaleo, Kisauni, and Mtopanga. In Kilifi, the heroin hotspots are Mnarani here, in Kilifi town, Shela in Malindi, and Watamu. Your Excellency, last year, between January and December, we worked very closely with the National Government Administration, and we were able to seize a number of illicit brews, that is a number of liters for illicit brews in this region. In Mombasa County, we were able to conduct 275 raids, and in total, we seized 128,807 liters of assorted illicit brews. And this included Chang'aa, Kangara, Mnazi, Muratina, Busaa, Matingasi, Magasha, and Bangara. That is in Mombasa County. We seized a total of 128,807 liters. In Kwale, we were able to seize Mnazi and other traditional brews, totaling to 25,857 liters. In Kilifi County, we were able to conduct 31 raids there, and we were able to seize a total of 8,272 liters of assorted illicit brews, including Kangara, Chang'aa, and of course, Mnazi. In Taita Taveta, we conducted 512 raids, and we were able to seize a total of 25,005 liters of assorted illicit brews. In Tana River, we conducted 25 raids, and we were able to seize 700 liters of assorted traditional liquors. And in Lamu, we conducted 259 raids, and we were able to seize a total of 8,385 liters of Mkoma and other traditional brews. When it comes to the hard drugs, bang, heroin, cocaine, we were able to seize in Mombasa County 36 marijuana. We uprooted 36 marijuana plants, and then we are able to seize 87 big rolls of bang, and heroin. We were able to seize 2 sachets of heroin. In Kwale, we were able to seize 65 rolls of bang. In Kilifi, that's where we had the largest seizure of hard drugs, where we were able to seize 504 rolls of bang. We uprooted 367 marijuana plants. We were able to seize 838 kilograms of bang and 1,113 sticks of bang. We are also able to seize 96 sachets of heroin and 1 kilogram of heroin plus another sachet of 50 grams. In Taita Taveta, we were able to seize 295 rolls of bang. In Lamu, we were able to seize 31 rolls and uprooted 797 cannabis plants. Cocaine, we were able to seize 26 sachets, and then we were able to seize 30 grams of heroin and 10 grams of cocaine. On ethanol seizure, in collaboration with KRA, we had 2 seizures. That is one during the month of May, where 10 grams of ethanol was seized at Kibanda Asara along the Taveta border. And another one was seized in October, where 36 grams of ethanol were also seized, and the suspects were apprehended and taken to court. We also, in collaboration with the National Government Authority, Administration and the other government agencies, that is KRA, CABS, and counterfeit agencies, we were able to conduct a crackdown on liquor selling outlets, that is the inspection of liquor selling outlets, and a total number of 272 outlets were inspected. The total number of alcohol selling outlets closed due to non-conformity was 103. Non-conformity, maybe this could be they were operating without valid licenses. Others were operating in residential areas. Others were operating near learning institution. That is the 300-meter rule. So there are several parameters which we were looking. And I want to thank all the multi-agency teams that we work together in conducting these crackdowns. Your Excellency, as we are fighting this menace, we have been encountering a lot of challenges, and it is important that I highlight some of the challenges that we have been encountering. And one of the challenges is corruption. Your Excellency, some law enforcement officers are abusing alcohol and drugs, and some dishonest law enforcement officers also collect protection money from illicit brewers and drug peddlers. This is a challenge which needs to be addressed. And of course, we have cases where there are some officers engaging in licit or illicit trade of alcohol, especially via proxy, whereby an officer operates a bar using a spouse. So enforcing the law sometimes becomes a challenge when the bar owner is related to the law enforcement officer. We also have a challenge of lack of community ownership in the fight against alcohol and drug abuse in this region. There is a lot of information relay and leakage. There is lack of information sharing by the community for fear of victimization. That one is also contributing to making our campaign a challenge. And of course, sometimes we get threats from some dealers who are violent and dangerous, posing a threat to enforcement officers. We also have another challenge where there is proliferation of Defense Forces Canteen Organization products in the public market, especially alcohol products that are a preserve of the disciplined forces in respective canteens and mess. This is where we have alcoholic beverages or products being sold, but they are from the military, especially places like Mariakani, where when you are doing our inspection, a normal inspection of crackdowns, we found some outlets are selling beers ambazo zimetoka from the barracks, and this has posed a challenge when it comes to enforcement. We also have another challenge of advancement in distribution methods, where there's transportation of drugs using high-end vehicles, and some illicit alcoholic products are packaged and distributed in unconventional ways, forms such as stuffing of boxes in sacks, sale using jerry cans, affixing caps with stamps from licensed manufacturers. The other challenge is the issue of inadequate resources, Your Excellency. There is inadequate equipment, materials, and expertise. For example, a lack of sniffer dogs to enable officers manning roadblocks detect drugs hidden in the vehicles. The other challenge that we are facing, Your Excellency, is a topographical terrain, where the terrain of the land, which makes it impossible to stage unnoticed operation. And in most cases, officers are spotted from far by the peddlers and users. We also have the problem of porous borders, all out from Kwale to Lamu. Along the coastline, we have a problem there. The porous maritime border, where drugs come in through the coastline, there are many unmanned and official mini harbors and fish landing sites along coastline where drugs can be dropped without notice. Kwa hivyo hapo tumeona kwamba there is a very big challenge because manning the whole the coastline all the way from Vanga to Kiunga has really been a problem. So these guys take advantage ya kuingia through the panya routes along the coastline to kuleta drugs into the region. There's also the problem of weak licensing and enforcement. Licensing of the outlets by the county government without, this is one of the problems where, because liquor license is now devolved, is now being done by the county governments, but there are situations where we find alcoholic selling outlets operating even without an inspection being conducted, but they have been issued with license by the county governments. This is a problem which I've been facing here in Mombasa, in Kilifi, and also in Kilifi County, where we get outlets without even an inspection that have been issued with a liquor licensing. There's also mushrooming of alcoholic outlets, including wines and spirits shops in undesignated areas. And of course, we have bars operating without valid licenses, while others operate beyond stipulated hours. This is a problem specifically here in Mombasa County, in those areas of Bamburi, and of course in Kilifi County, in Mtwapa and Malindi town. Guys are operating beyond the stipulated operating hours. There's also sale of substandard alcohol and in unhealthy conditions, because in most places the public health departments have not given a go ahead for these premises to be given a license. But at the end of the day, we just find these guys have been issued with licenses. So there's a big problem when it comes to licensing of these premises. And of course, lack of involvement of administrative and law enforcement officers by the liquor boards to enhance enforcement. We also have a problem with the judiciary, where there's a long judicial processes. For example, taking exhibits to government chemists takes a long time for the outcome to be received. And in some cases, there is political interference in licensing and bailout of offenders. And of course, we also have the problem of inadequate rehabilitation facilities. As Your Excellency, you had mentioned, we only have 2 public rehabilitation centers here in the region, one in Miritini and the other one in Kombani. And the number of people who have been addicted is very high, so the 2 facilities cannot cope with that number. So we need to work very closely with the county government so that they can now also come up with rehabilitation facilities. Because the existing ones, most of them are privately owned, and they are very expensive. And once again, I commend Kwale County for operationalization of the Kombani Rehabilitation Center. So those are the challenges, Your Excellency, as far as dealing with alcohol and drug abuse in this region. And I also take this opportunity also to just highlight some of the recommendations that we have come up with. And one of the recommendations is a strengthening of the multi-agency by deploying other agency officers to the counties and sustaining multi-agency raids on illicit dens. Specifically, we are recommending the deployment of more of KEBS, KRA, anti-counterfeit agency staff, Farmers and Sponsors Board, public health, and the government chemist officers to the region. We recommend that more of these officers are deployed for us to be successful in our campaign. We are also recommending enhanced spot checks in the roadblocks. We also recommend continued sensitization campaigns on negative impact of alcohol and other drugs to the community. We also recommending strengthening of the judicial and prosecution processes, and also the other problem which we have highlighted, the problem of corruption. So we are recommending that we address integrity among the law enforcement officers. County government also should, the county government liquor boards should involve all stakeholders in vetting before issuance of liquor licensing. This is something which it's a problem which we have been facing. So we are recommending that before these outlets are issued with the liquor licenses. During the vetting process, we are recommending that all stakeholders, specifically the national government officers, be involved in the vetting. We are recommending to amend the county-specific laws to align to the Alcohol Drinks Control Act of 2010 and to ensure all counties have they operationalize their alcoholic drinks control fund, where liquor licensing fees should be deposited for use in alcohol and drug control programs. The issue of amending county-specific laws is important because in some areas we find that the County Alcoholic Drinks Control Law is contrary to what the Alcoholic Drinks Control Act, the Mutudo Law, talks about. For instance, in Taita Taveta County, the Alcoholic Drinks Control Law talks of bars to operate between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m., while the County Alcoholic Drinks Control Law talks about starting operating from 4 p.m. to midnight. So there's a difference of 1 hour. So that contradiction of the county and the national act is really giving us a problem when it comes to enforcement. So we are recommending that there's need to harmonize all these county alcohol use control acts so that they're in line with the national acts. We are also recommending to embrace the Nyumba Kumi households policing units to enhance vigilance, and also we are recommending provision of additional resources like more police vehicles to cater for ease movements in apprehending drug peddlers. So, Your Excellency, those are the recommendations. And as I had mentioned earlier, is that in this campaign, we have been working very closely with the key government agencies, including the National Government Administration Offices, KRA, KEBS, the National Police Service, the county governments, other state departments, like the Youth Enterprise Fund, the State Department of Youth Affairs, and religious, civil society organization, and religious organization. So basically, that is the situation of alcohol and drug abuse in this region. But basically, the situation is not good because when you look at the national prevalence rate, the region prevalence rate is higher than what we have at the national level. Thank you very much.